Yeah, that's right. Tonight. Oh man, so crazy excited. It's going to be more excited. So I wanted to put out one final Q&A before tonight's episode, for you guys, because there was a lot of questions. And, I'm pretty excited for the finale. I'm freaking super excited, man. I've never been so excited for an episode before in my life. I had some pretty cool videos this week. If you missed any of them, you might want to check it out. Did one yesterday with David Brody from Elvis Duran in the Morning Show. It was a lot of fun. If you guys missed that one, it's in the channel. It's kind of a special video because I've never really done like a radio interview, that kind of thing before. So it was pretty fun. So check it out if you missed it. I know quite a few of you guys maybe not have seen it. It's in the channel right now. It's about 17 minutes long. So check it out if you haven't seen it. And, I'm pretty happy with this one because what I've been able to do this time is kind of stay out of the spoiler territory for the finale. So I actually, at this point, don't know, aside from my predictions and my hunches and thoughts, who's going to be killed tonight, who's going to be killed off tonight, which is the best. That's what I want. It's in doing this online for 6 years, a lot of times there's a lot of deaths that were big in the series, such as Noah's, such as Tyrese, and a lot of the others that I had heard like a few days before, if somebody sent it to me in like a comment or something. And I'm really happy this time that even though there was the leaked audio, of Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan, which I haven't heard. I've only seen the promo and stuff. I've been able to not listen to it. Nothing concrete has been spoiled for me to the point where I know who the finale death is, or if there even is one for sure. But I did hear, let's see, a few people messaged me to say there's going to be a fourth cast member for Talking Dead tonight. So that would mean that, most likely we're going to see a big character death. But they didn't kind of let us know. They announced it during, I guess, the marathon. I don't know who to credit that to when we go through the questions here for today. But, So let's get into the questions. But just, enjoy the hell of the episode tonight, guys, for sure. First question's from Enigma Entertainment, and he says, "Hey Trev, will you be watching the entire series again after the finale? I know I am." So I wanted to include that, and bro, I like to go through and I like to watch it, at least certain parts. It's getting harder to do now because the 16 episode seasons, they really fill time up, man. I mean, when they do, like, if you look at, once they started doing that, the last few seasons like that, man, it takes a while to go through because it's like times 40 minutes. You don't have to watch the, I've got them all on DVD and that, and I've even got Fear, which I'm gonna recap Fear this week. I gotta kind of catch up on, at least watch the last couple episodes again to get caught back up on it because of course Fear is starting next Sunday, and you guys can expect reviews for it and the usual stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a predictions video this week for it. Fear should be good, this season, and then of course Game of Thrones starts in a few weeks, so reviews for that as usual, guys. Been reviewing Game of Thrones since season 2, so been at this for a little while. Been doing this for a little while. So all the usual stuff, nothing changes. But to answer Enigma's question, I love to go back and kind of rewatch some of my favorite parts of the series. And some parts I just skip. Like I might go through an episode and maybe I don't want to watch the whole thing, so I just skip over some of the stuff that maybe it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, or this wasn't that enjoyable to watch. Some stuff has more replay value than others, depending. So. And some seasons I've seen more than others, like the first season and, even the second, but the third. Those three I have seen so many times. I've probably seen them over, like, I would have to say maybe like 10 times, at least 5 times each episode. With the better episodes, probably more like 10, for those seasons. So I've seen it quite a few times over now. It's still fun to go back and watch, though, because you get the nostalgic feel. You get the nostalgic, like, man, is this what the show felt like? Compared to now and how big it's become now and just how, how much of like an ensemble cast and the environments and everything are just bigger. Bad guys are bigger. Everything's just gotten a lot bigger and better as the series has gone through. At least for me. Some people think the opposite thing was better when it started and it got worse. So I feel bad for those people because I just don't feel that way. But yeah, maybe I can do a throwback review. So if you guys want to see any throwback reviews for for any of the earlier episodes, I've reviewed most of the big ones in terms of throwbacks. But hey, I'm always open to it this summer. Lots of time to talk about different stuff because of course regular Walking Dead won't be on. But the usual stuff is the same as last year and the year before, guys. I still make videos on the season seasons and discussion topics, top 10, top 5s, that kind of stuff. Next one's from U1tra Gaming, and he says, hey, Trev, during the season 6 marathon, this is where it came from, of The Walking Dead, it was announced that there's going to be a surprise cast member on Talking Dead tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on this? Any last-minute death predictions? So at this point, I've been talking about it since November. That's like, at least near the end of November. So that's like December, January, February, and now we're through March. So it's been 4 months I've been waiting to find out who is going to be who's killed off. I mean, no last minute predictions. All of my predictions kind of stand the characters that we've talked about through, looking at, Daryl, even though Daryl was shot, so it takes a little bit off of that, I think, a little bit of sting off that prediction, because it's like, okay, well, he was already shot. You're going to kill him now too? But, the usual stuff. There's always a question for Glenn, and I did the video, too, on him. And might it just end up being Glenn anyway, or some people think Abraham, he's a topic right now. A lot of people think maybe he'll be killed off. And, the others that we've talked about, throughout as well, too. You never know with Carol and Michonne and that. But no last-minute predictions. Just all the stuff that we've been talking about for 4 months, it still stands. How I think it's going to go. Next one's from Rob Marchant, and he says, hey, Trev, question for the Q&A. How do you think they're going to handle Negan swearing? And I want to include this as well as the next one, which is AJ Unlimited, because we've talked about that also for like 4 months. And he says, hey, Trev, do you think that there will be a lot of mixed feelings about Negan since he won't be swearing as much as he did in the comics? I feel like people who didn't read the comics will like him, and people who did read them will not, because the cursing will be watered down. And that kind of makes his character, from what I hear, in quotes he says, or in brackets he says, I didn't read the comics. So shame on you, AJ, for not reading the comics. You should, because they're just so much fun. And, with regards to the Negan swearing thing, that is kind of spoiled for me, that according to people who have listened to the audio, they did tell me that Negan is not swearing in it. So, that goes back to my initial, when I first heard about this, back in November, I said, I don't think they're going to have him swearing on the air. And even though Kirkman, he tries to say, well, maybe, gray area type deal, and maybe, you never know, he just wants everybody to watch, regardless. He doesn't want to say too much, and Gibble's the same way, but it's AMC. If they could do the swearing thing, they'd probably do it sooner. It's not HBO. If it was HBO, if this was Game of Thrones, sure, you'd get all the swearing, you get all, the nudity and whatever the hell else they can do. But on AMC, it's much different than that. They can't. There's John Bernthal's talked about this like way back in season 2 and season 1 about the stuff he's able to do with Laurie. Like there's these specifications, like you're allowed to touch her here, but you're not allowed to touch her there. You're allowed to do this, but you're not allowed to do that, like just ridiculous, right? So, I kind of knew they weren't, and it's what it is too, right? If you look at the Governor stuff in the TV series, it's a lot lighter than it was in the comics. When Michonne goes back and takes his eye out in the comics, she like tortures him. She like cuts off his, like she does all kinds of stuff to him. And she gets him for a while there and traps him and tortures the hell out of him. So, the Walking Dead comic series will always be a bit darker than the television series. And as much as they can bring the TV series close to that, and it helps to get the Blu-ray or DVD where it's got the actual swearing, which is cool, which I will be checking out and buying, of course, and I'll do a review of that in August when those hit. But yeah, there's just certain things they can't, they're not allowed. So it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. You can always read the comics if you want to see that version of Negan. The Jeffrey Dean Morgan's version, obviously, by nature, is going to be different because it's different media, and they have different rules and everything. But I think it should still be a lot of fun, and even though he's not swearing, maybe, it takes a little bit away from it, but it's not, it's not the end of the world. We're still going to get to see Negan. We're still going to get to see him, bash skulls and do what he does best, the good stuff. So, the rules they have to abide by. There's not much you can do about it. Next one's from Dylan Cooper, and he says, Q&A, at what point in the last episode do you think Negan will appear? I think it will be towards the end of the first quarter. Great to hear your thoughts. Q&A. So, again, I don't have any spoiler info. I don't know for sure, but I would say probably as a prediction, I guess. I think it'll be in the second half of the episode. The episode will probably start off a little bit slower, and then we'll kind of get his appearance in the last half. It's going to be a 90-minute, which is like 60 minutes with commercials in the intro. So, maybe after the 30-minute mark, maybe more like the 40-minute mark, to give him about 10 or 20 minutes at the end of the episode to introduce himself and to give us a death and it should be some of the most intense stuff throughout the series all the way. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be probably equivalent, I would say, to actually when they were at Terminus and they were captured, and they were kind of powerless, they were defenseless, and they couldn't really do much. I think this will be closest to that of anything else we've seen in the series, because that's a part right there where man, that's some of the scariest stuff in the whole series. That's an episode I like to watch over and over again. No Sanctuary. I've seen that one at least 10 times because it's just so well done, and man, it's really scary when they're powerless. They can't do much, right? So, and that feeling of powerlessness is, that's fear. That's what that is. That causes fear like crazy. So. Next one's from Tyrese Williams, and he says, I think we're role player. Hey, Trev. Do you think Stephen Ock's character will survive the finale and be an important savior in the future or something? The actor is just way too high profile and too damn good to just kill off in one episode. Love your channel, by the way. So, yeah, I think so. I think you're leading the right way, but I don't think he's a huge actor or anything like that. And in the past before, I've made predictions, such as the case with Jesse and Alexandra Breckenridge, who, maybe they're not super high profile, but they're known anyway. Like, you know them from something versus an actor or actress that you don't know from anything. It still doesn't mean that they're going to be in the series for a really long time. I kind of thought with Jesse, maybe they keep her around longer because they've got a pretty high-profile actress. Not that high-profile. It's just pretty high-profile, I guess. But then again, they did it, so it depends. I mean, the show's so big now. I think guys like Stephen Ogg, who also was in, of course, Better Call Saul and, video games and that, GTA, I think they're probably fans of The Walking Dead too. They're probably fans too, and to get the chance to be in it, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan's interview where he talks about his opportunity to actually just be in the show, and how excited he was, and how he just dropped everything as soon as whatever was The Good Wife or whatever the hell else he had going on. He just dropped it all. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, damn right. Damn right, I'll do it. Is it Negan? He's all excited and stuff. It is. Okay, I'm doing it. Yeah, I don't care what else I have to do. I'm doing it. See, I love that, right? See, so they picked the perfect person. It's definitely better when you get a response like that, I think, than somebody who's like, oh, The Walking Dead, that's pretty popular. I've never read it. I've never really seen it, but I guess I'll do it. It's just a totally different response. So I was kind of amped for Jeffrey D. Morgan's Negan right off the bat because of at least that interview to get things started. So he says the right thing, that's for sure. Next one's from Zazman Reviews. He says, Q&A question, Trev. When do you think we'll see the Kingdom? Maybe maybe season 7 mid-season finale. What are your thoughts? We could see it tonight if Morgan stumbles upon it, because it is an extended episode. But they have shown us so much already this season. They've shown us the hilltop. The Kingdom is another location that's really important. I did a video on it in the channel explaining from the comic book series what the Kingdom is. And he should be stumbling upon it soon. Maybe tonight or maybe beginning of season 7, something like that. But he should be seeing it pretty soon, I would think. Yeah, probably more likely season 7. But who knows, man? They're going big, so they're not. They're bringing a lot of stuff. Whereas in season 2, you got to wait until the end of the season before you see a bigger episode like that. Aside from that, they're just kind of sitting on the farm doing what they have to do. They're drama based, which is fine. But it's just cool now they can do so much stuff and build communities and everything. It's just crazy. Next one's from Liam Stefan, and he says, hey, Trev, in the interview with Lauren Cohan featured on Talking Dead, she talks about Enid and says she has a quote-unquote sisterly bond. Do you think that is more of a sisterly relationship or a parental relationship? So I would say probably more like sisterly relationship. I think that, Maggie does think that Enid is, is really, I guess, a strong survivor on her own, in that she'll take action. She won't just sit there. If she thinks the community's going down, she will get the hell out of there. She will leave on her own and just go off on her own, and that takes that takes a reasonable amount of strength. There's a lot of characters in Alexandria that I can't see them just leaving like that. Maybe she's smaller than that, for her age and everything, it'd be difficult to kill zombies. But she kind of knows that if she sneaks around and avoids them, maybe that's better to do that anyway. And she seems to have been doing really well. So I think that, Lauren Cohan and Maggie, she sees her more as a sisterly bond, but also maybe like a big sister type thing. Protective big sister, leading her, but not trying to control her or force her or anything like that. Not authoritarian. That's authoritarian. Not authoritarian, which is good anyway, because that's not good if you're more authoritarian like that anyway. It yields bad results with people. Next one's from Jingle the Pringle, and he says, Q&A Trev, do you think that Morgan will find Carol as a walker and have to put her down? So no, I don't think so. I don't think we would see like Carol's death as like her as a walker, like she commits suicide, lets a walker eat her, and then she just gives up, and then Morgan finds her. That would be so crushing, man, if that's what they do. So I don't think so. I think that a death like that for her just would that would be kind of depressing to see. I wouldn't really want to see it anyway. And next one's from Radical Zed. He says, hey man, I have a question for you, Q&A. My question is, will Morgan be forced to kill in the season finale? Also, do you think he'll find Carol in the finale? I think so. I think he'll find at least the guy that's going after her, that type of deal. Have a great day, Tregan, and hope you enjoy the hell out of the episode, because it's going to be Pee-Pee Pants City real soon. Negan is going to be awesome. Excellent. I'm wondering if they're going to include that line too, because that should be good. I could just picture Jeffrey. See, again, I don't want to listen to the audio. You guys maybe already have heard it. Keep it to yourselves, man. Keep it to yourself. I want to actually experience it. And yes, I'll record myself watching. I'll set up my TV, and and I'll do with my equipment, and I'll have it ready with a good mic and everything. So it should be good. Next one's from me, Tony Montana's, and he says, since Michonne is with Rick, do you think there could be a gender swap for Ezekiel? No, I don't think they would do a gender swap for Ezekiel. I mean, I think that'd be weird. I mean, they did it for Douglas and to Deanna, and it worked out okay. But Ezekiel's a little different than Douglas. Ezekiel's ready to go to war. He's willing to do that stuff, and I don't mean to say that a female can't go to war and do that kind of stuff. But of course they can. But I just picture Ezekiel as a male. It would be weird to me to see him gender swap to a female. It was weird for Douglas, but it'd be even weirder for Ezekiel, I think, because he's such a. It's kind of like if you switched, Dwight to a female or something. It's like an important character that Douglas is not actually as important, I'd say, as Ezekiel. I don't think. Next one, we'll do a couple more from Monty Humanity, I think. Wanted to be sure I got this question answered on the show before the season was over. Love you, dude. Question 1, Dear Trev, and again, I don't edit these. Some people accuse me of editing these. He says, Dear Trev, how many seasons do you think it will take to tell Negan and the Saviors correctly without flying past it too fast? But not going too slowly either. And then he's got a second question. So for your first question, because it's a good question, how many seasons? Well, let's see. We've got, All Out War, that kind of stuff, kind of the getting ready for All Out War, which would be like the first part of Season 7, maybe first half. Second half, in between. They should add some filler into Season 7, but maybe they don't do that anymore. We'll see. They kind of like just extend out the episodes and kind of add it in there a little bit with the new characters from the show in that, such as Enid and Glenn in Season 6. So I would say probably the second half of Season 6, of course. Season 7, all of Season 7. Season 8, all of Season 8. And then maybe a half. So like 3 seasons total, or 2.5 seasons, I think would be a good pacing. If they go faster than that, maybe a little too quick. If they go slower than that, maybe a little too slow. But it depends what they do with it. I mean, if they can come up with some great writing in the writing room, then it's not too bad if they extend it a little longer. And the second question was, if Tregan had to pick between Daryl and Glenn, who would you choose for the Lucille treatment? Keep up the good work. Love the channel. More Tregan, please. Shout out my channel, please. Okay, so there you go. Humanity. So who would I pick for the finale? Death. I think if they killed off Daryl, man, that would just. I guess I'll end it with this question because this is a great question. If they killed off Daryl, man, people would just go effing crazy, and it would boost the show up in Season 7 for sure. I mean, people would just be dumbfounded by it. But that said, he's already kind of hurt already, so he's got the rivalry going with Dwight. So it's kind of like he's got his own new storyline happening, and it would be cut if they killed him off right now because he's got this new rivalry going with Dwight. So I don't really want to see that. I want to see him get his revenge on Dwight, kill Dwight, and then maybe take over Dwight's position eventually, and maybe even lead the Saviors if Rick's able to defeat Negan, depending on what happens. We'll see. But that's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Norman Reedus' Daryl be a long-term survivor of the series. And then your second part. So I guess I would choose Glenn. I guess is what I would do. And yeah, we'll call it here because we're getting the video's going a little long. So just wanted to say, guys, for sure. Enjoy the hell of the episode tonight. Have fun, man. I'll record a reaction. We'll do the review as usual. It's more in depth where we talk about the specifics. Those will be posted about an hour to an hour and a half after the episode's finished airing. And then, of course, we'll do predictions for Season 7, what we think is going to happen. We'll do the Fear of the Walking Dead questions this week. Send me your Q&A for Fear Dead questions, because we got that leading up to the premiere of that. And, of course, Game of Thrones videos coming, all that good stuff, everything as usual. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the hell out of it. I'll see you back tonight after the the finale premieres and everything. And I hope you guys just enjoy it like crazy. I'll see you back as soon as it's done. So enjoy it, guys. So that's it for this one today. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. You guys know what to do, the usual. Share, fave. And if you're new and you want to sub, go ahead and sub at the bottom left. Anyway, that's it for this one. See you guys again tonight. And, about 8 to 10 hours from now. It's Trev saying peace. See you guys.